Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm here with Brinley,
Hi guys, it's me.
and I don't know if y'all can relate to this, but when we were in school, we had to learn all the different state capitals, and some of these were pretty easy because they were either really large cities, or they were significant in some way, or they were just a really good representation of the state. But some of them, it just didn't stick because it feels like they came out of nowhere and they haven't been mentioned since. So Brinley had the really bright idea of answering the age old question: state capitals, do they make sense or are they nonsense? So let's get into it. So, first one we got here is Albany, which is, of course, is the capital of New York,
That's
right?
such a good one to start on because that is like the proof that this video needs to exist. Because like what an awful capital when there's literally New York City. Like that's so dumb.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, Albany, that sounds like where Batman came. That sounds like something out of Batman, right? That's probably like where Killer Croc came from. Also, there's already Albania, which is like a whole country, and I feel like they should be able to claim that. So
Definitely
this is
nonsense.
nonsense, guys. Guys, this is nonsense. Okay, next one we got is Annapolis in Maryland, right?
I don't know a whole lot about Maryland, so I feel like I could be swayed either way on this one. What do you think?
I think it's right on the edge of making sense. Baltimore is a little bit more
True.
iconic,
Mm-hmm.
but Annapolis, I think there's some kind of historical importance to that.
Okay,
So
I'm fine with that. Like I can't think of a better city besides Baltimore. I don't know. I think that's fine.
it kind of makes sense, but it's not going to go super high up on the list. Um, okay, this is a big one. Atlanta, Georgia.
That's like the city in Georgia. Like that is such a great capital. Like I agree 100%.
Complete sense, right? Yeah. So Atlanta is definitely it definitely makes sense here. Okay, Augusta, which is in Maine.
Um, see, I can't name any places in Maine. Like, what are some other cities in Maine?
Portland. But
Isn't it
that's
also in
confusing because
Oregon?
that's also in Oregon. So I think Augusta's
I
fine.
don't think that's like a problem. Like,
I don't
I
think it's a
think,
problem.
yeah,
It's not my favorite state capital, but it's fine. It's like kind of a pretty name too, Augusta. I
kind
would
of
name my
reminds
kid
me,
that.
of Augusta, which is in South Carolina and Georgia. Like North Augusta is in
Oh, that's true because it's
South
Augusta,
Carolina, and then
Georgia.
Georgia has regular Augusta, which is like a pretty big city. So that could be confusing, but I think it's fine.
I mean, yeah, the only other thing I know in Maine though is Portland, and that's already confusing. I think moral of the story here is Maine, you got to up your game and you got to stop stealing other states' cities. That's
Mhm.
okay. Anyway, Austin, Texas,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, we live in Texas. We're literally in Texas right now. I think that makes sense. I mean, out of the four big major cities in Texas, I feel like Houston's too big.
Dallas is kind of too boring. No
Dallas,
offense
like,
to
and Fort
Dallas.
Worth, like, what even happens there? I live there, but like, what even happens there? San Antonio's cool, but they have like the Alamo. They're good. They don't need to also be the capital.
I think Austin makes sense for
I
Texas.
agree.
So yeah, Austin, that makes sense. Okay, Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
I've been to Louisiana many times. I've never been here. I would think New Orleans. That would be the first one that comes to mind because I think that's the biggest city. But it's so out of the way from the rest of Louisiana, and also it's like flooding and everything. I think I'm okay with this because that's where LSU is, and
Yeah,
LSU is like a big school. At least I think it is. That might not be true, but
I'm fine with Baton Rouge as well. I feel like New Orleans is a little bit too chaotic, to be like a state capital. But
I'm
yeah,
fine with
I
that.
feel like Baton
And it's
Rouge
pretty
works.
centrally
Plus,
located, I think.
giving some credit to like the French, influence, right?
Right.
I'm sure the French wouldn't pronounce it Baton Rouge,
Mm-hmm.
but do you know what that means in French?
Probably red baton.
Yeah, let's go with that.
I actually don't
So
know.
yeah. Anyway, that makes sense, right? Okay, Bismarck, North Dakota.
Okay, so I haven't heard of anywhere in North Dakota, so I'm fine with this. North Dakota is so irrelevant.
See, that's the thing. I'm not. I'm not fine with that because Bismarck. I'm pretty sure that's like the guy who united Germany. And like, what does that have to do with North Dakota?
Oh. Okay, sure, but also like, are there any better city? Is North Dakota the one with Mount Rushmore? Or is
That's
that
South Dakota.
okay? So I can't think of anything.
I'm sorry, North Dakota, but like, even though I can't think of any other cities, I gotta say this is nonsense. Like,
I mean, I'm indifferent, but I've never heard of anything, so I feel like I can't really have an opinion.
I just, if they really want like a city, they gotta like not, they gotta name it something a little bit more
I think
relevant.
you're
You know,
moving the
I
line.
might be moving the actual bar here, but that's only because North Dakota literally lowered the bar. So um, that
Mhm.
was kind of like a reference to that.
Okay, Boise, Idaho. I agree with this one. Can't
I
think of,
like
I can't
Boise.
think of any other city in Idaho. Everyone pretty much who I know who lives in Idaho, but besides the people who work at the national lab, they live in Boise. Because I know, well, my dentist knew someone from Boise. Anyways, I'm fine with this. This makes sense.
Yeah, I think Boise. I've never forgotten Boise.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever that's what I associate with Idaho. So I think it has that star power that's just enough to bring that into make sense, right?
So far, it's like pretty uneven here.
Don't worry, we'll get to some which are total nonsense, right?
Yeah. Okay.
But right now we've been pretty positive. So Boston,
That's totally
right?
good.
Boston, I mean everyone hates on Boston, right? You know, I don't have strong opinions on it. I can see why, but I don't think anyone's denying that it should be the capital of Massachusetts. Boston is Massachusetts in my mind.
Boston has like a
You
ton
know,
of universities too. Not that that matters, but like, yeah, it has to be Boston.
there's the biggest city. Yeah, it's got to be the biggest city. Tons of historical importance,
Boston
tons
Tea
of cultural
Party.
significance. Boston Tea Port. I mean, it's got to be Boston, and it would be offensive if it was anything else besides Boston for Massachusetts.
Okay, this next one, oh my god, I'm torn. On the one hand, Carson City, Nevada, obviously Vegas being the capital of
I couldn't take it
Nevada
seriously.
would not be
Yeah.
great because it's just not like it's very touristy. It's very like I don't want to say gimmicky, but it's touristy.
Yeah, I mean, we love Vegas. I mean, who doesn't? But I mean, you can't put a state capital.
That doesn't
there.
make sense.
That's just a little bit
say
much.
Carson City is like way on the other end of the state. Like I'm pretty sure it's next to California.
Yeah.
But again, I can't think of any like those are the only two cities in Nevada I've heard of.
But the thing is, we only know Carson City because it's the state capital.
That's true.
I feel like a good state capital should be able to make a name for itself. And in my opinion, I mean, especially considering the balance of this list, this has got to be kind of nonsense, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, Carson City. Um, yeah, that's not a good capital. Okay, Charleston. Hold on, not South Carolina, West Virginia.
Nonsense. Why?
Total. Yeah.
Why
Right?
is it the same as the one in South Carolina? Is that where it is?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
because I thought Charleston was the capital of South Carolina,
Confusing.
right? Which it isn't. And I found out when making this list, but yeah, West Virginia. I didn't even know there was a Charleston. So
Confusing.
this is really confusing, and it's not even confusing in the same way that like Portland, Maine, or I guess Augusta, Maine, is confusing. So yeah, I'm sorry, West Virginia. You got to do better. Okay, Cheyenne, Wyoming.
I haven't heard of a single city in Wyoming, so by default, I'm okay with this. What's the? Okay, never mind. I was going to ask what the capital is, but it's literally there. So I haven't heard of anything in Wyoming.
I think it's a pretty name, and because of that, it makes sense. Again, Wyoming, we got to throw Wyoming a bone from time to time.
It's not confusing. Like, there's not another Cheyenne.
It's not confusing.
It's pretty easy to remember.
Yeah. So, Cheyenne gets a pass. That makes sense. Okay. What do we got next? Columbia, South Carolina.
There, Columbia is so boring. I feel like there has to be cooler towns in South Carolina.
And it's confusing because, as we'll see with the next entry on this list, right?
Columbus.
Exactly.
I don't like that. I mix them up. I call them the wrong thing all the time because, like I said, I went to Columbia. There's an airport there. But anyways.
And then we got the District of Columbia. That's already the capital of the whole country.
Why don't they make it one of the coastal, like the cute coastal cities of South Carolina?
Yeah.
That'd be way more fun because there's like Charleston. There's like I can't think of any other ones, but I've been to a few of them and they're really cute. So I don't understand why they made it this weird.
I don't know, and I mean, I've had those situations before where I'm trying to go to Columbia, like the country, and then they just take me to South Carolina
That
instead.
too. Yeah, I don't like
I hate it
this.
when that happens, right? So because of that, Columbia is nonsense. I'm
Columbia's
sorry.
just-
That's a country. That's a different capital of the entire country, right?
Mhm.
And it also sounds like Columbus, the next one in Ohio, which I'm also not a fan of. I got to be
I was
honest.
gonna say, isn't Memphis? Oh no, Memphis is in Tennessee.
That's Tennessee.
Okay,
Yeah.
never mind. What are the
Um,
other cities in Ohio?
Cincinnati.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Cleveland.
Yeah, no, that's make one of those.
They made a whole show about it. I think they should make it Cleveland because they made the show about Cleveland,
Yeah,
right?
I know.
So they got to do the capital. So
Move
yeah,
it.
Columbus.
Move it to nonsense.
Also, I mean, Columbus. I'm pretty sure he didn't land in Ohio, right? I need to brush up on my history. Maybe pretty sure the Pinta, the Nina, and the Santa Maria were landing on the coast of Ohio.
Yeah.
So. Okay, Concord, New Hampshire.
What other cities are in New Hampshire?
No clue.
I mean, New Hampshire's like tiny, right?
It's pretty small.
So this is another one where it's like I'm kind of indifferent because I can't name any other city. So it's not like there's a better option I can think of in New Hampshire.
Yeah, I just think of grapes,
I
right?
think I'm
Like
fine with
Concord.
I think of grapes
like grapes,
too.
or that game that failed.
Or
That was pretty funny. Concord. Do you think that was about Do you think that was set in New Hampshire?
I think about Concordia, the university in Montreal.
Okay, these are all better things than Concord, the capital of New Hampshire.
Whatever, I'd support either for this one. And there's
This
a
is a
category
coin
of
flip
like,
for me.
there's a category of like I don't know, like I don't know enough, I don't really care enough. It would go in that.
Yeah, we we could always just leave it in the bottom box. But that feels even more disrespectful than putting it in
Just pick
nonsense.
one.
So I'm sorry, Concord. You're going in nonsense,
Yeah, I
but
feel
it's
like
for your own
unless we
good.
support it, it should probably go in nonsense.
Okay.
Denver is like a really important city. It's really high up.
It's a mile-high city.
Yeah,
right?
I think Denver 100%.
Denver's a cool city. Yeah,
deserves to be.
makes sense. Good job, Denver. Okay, Des Moines, Iowa.
What other cities are in Iowa?
I was about to say Chicago, but that's Illinois. Yeah, no. I don't know. I think Des Moines is fine. Yeah.
But you don't pronounce the S or the other S. Des Moines.
It
should not
French,
be. I know
right?
it should not be spelled like
That's
that.
the thing.
That's not French.
They can't Des Moines. What is it?
Not French.
Oh.
French doesn't have DES. I don't think.
Huh.
Could be Spanish. I don't know. I don't think. Maybe
But
it is
French and Spanish. I mean, last time I checked, most people in Iowa aren't either of those
I
things.
know. I
So
think the spelling bothers me. I know it's like not English, but still. I don't really care either way. I'd probably say nonsense.
I want to say it makes sense because, like, I think of Iowa, I think of Des Moines.
You do. I don't.
We could put it in nonsense though. The more that I think about the spelling and the fact that it doesn't have a reason to be like that, I don't know. Maybe they have a good historical reason. If you're from Iowa, please let us know in the comments, what's going on with that. But yeah, sorry for now, Des Moines. Okay, Dover, Delaware. Dover, I hardly even know her. That's nonsense,
Isn't
right?
that a pretty important city in Delaware?
No.
Oh.
Delaware, you're surrounded by greatness, but you got Maryland, you got the capital, like it's not on your doorstep, I guess, but it's close. You got DC's pretty close. You got all the northeastern states. Pennsylvania's pretty close. New Jersey's pretty close. I don't know if I would say that's greatness, but you got to get what you can take.
I'd say nonsense because I'm
going to say nonsense. Sorry, Delaware.
Okay, Frankfort, Kentucky.
Isn't that in Germany? Like
true. What other cities are? I know I keep asking this. What are other cities in Kentucky?
There's other ones.
I feel like there are. I just can't think of
I
them.
mean, Lexington.
True.
Lexington and Concord. That was in the Revolutionary War. I don't think it was this Lexington. Wait, actually, hold on. Is the Concord, New Hampshire, the same thing as Lexington and Concord? Because that was big during the Revolution. That might be a game changer for New Hampshire.
I don't know.
Hold on. We're settling this right now. Battle of Lexington and Concord. The first armed conflict of the American Revolution.
It was in Massachusetts.
Okay, it was in Massachusetts. Are we sure it was in Massachusetts?
I love your pronunciation of Massachusetts. Yeah, it was in Massachusetts. It says
Okay, guys. I tried to redeem you there for a little bit, New Hampshire, but no. And I'm not going to be redeeming Kentucky while I'm at it because
Yeah.
Frankfurt, again, already a much more important city in Germany. Sorry.
Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. That's so stupid.
What even has happened? In
There's so
Harrisburg
many better
besides-
cities in Pennsylvania.
Philly?
There's Pittsburgh.
Hello?
Is Columbus in Pennsylvania?
No, that's in Ohio.
There's Philadelphia. There's Pittsburgh. There's another one I'm forgetting that's like kind of in between them.
Allegheny?
No.
Is that a county?
No.
I don't really know what that is.
Maybe I should be looking at a map. Well, anyways, that's definitely nonsense. Either way, let's see. Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Harrisburg.
That's the one we're doing.
Oh, LOL.
Well, you had two options that would be better.
Pittsburgh and Philadelphia are much better. There's also Scranton, which is where the office happens.
That's true. That's also Joe Biden.
Oh, it is?
I think so, right? But then again, I thought he was from Delaware, so we got to figure that out. Joe, if you're watching this, just let us know in the comments what do you think. Okay, so
I think just because there's Pittsburgh on one side, Philadelphia on the other, they should have just picked one of those instead of going
That's what I'm
somewhere in the
saying.
middle that doesn't
Yeah.
matter. I mean,
meet in the middle, both sides lose.
I will say
if you
when I
think
looked at
about
the
it.
map, it does seem like a pretty big city, but still.
Yeah. Okay, Hartford, Connecticut.
Yes,
I like it. Yeah, I like it.
that's fine. I think it's a
I
cute,
heart
it's a cute
Ford.
name. It's a cute name. It's easy to remember. It has a good flow.
I like it, right? Okay, Helena, Montana.
Never heard of any city in Montana.
I haven't heard of it. It's a nice name. It's
I
a
think
pretty
that's
name.
fine.
You know what? That's the thing. You could be. That's my criteria for some of these smaller states, which don't really. I don't know. Maybe I'm just uneducated. That don't like. I don't know any cities in them. If it's a pretty name, that's good enough for me.
I kind of agree. Yeah,
Okay, Honolulu.
that's totally makes sense.
We
I mean,
love Honolulu.
Honolulu and Maui are both pretty big, but that's totally fine. It totally fits the Hawaiian vibe.
Yeah, it's
It's an alliteration. I love it. I don't think anyone could dislike that.
That's what I'm saying. And then Indianapolis.
Oh, it's literally in the name.
It's in the name, right? See, we're on a winning streak right now. Indianapolis, you make the cut.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Jackson, Mississippi.
What other cities are in Mississippi?
There's a big one I'm forgetting.
Memphis is almost in Mississippi. There's really nothing else in Mississippi. I'm looking at it. There's the Mississippi River. There's Tupelo.
Tupelo,
Meridian.
yeah.
Both Jackson is the biggest city based on this map, but it's confusing because there's also Jacksonville.
That's true. We'll get to Florida in a second, though. Hold on. Florida. All right, Jackson, Mississippi. You make it. Okay, Jefferson City, Missouri.
There are better cities in Missouri too.
St. Louis. Hello.
There's St. Louis and Kansas City.
And Kansas City. I mean, I wouldn't want to name the
Springfield.
capital of Missouri Kansas City. That would be
awful,
insulting,
but there's St.
right?
Louis. I agree, and I've been to St. Louis.
It should be St. Louis.
I think it should be.
I
St.
don't
Louis.
really know what Jefferson City is.
Yeah, it
So-
doesn't look like a big city.
I mean, shout out to Jefferson, like the president. But yeah, sorry.
Breaking news: my dad says Baton Rouge makes no sense, so we might have to go back and revise that. Anyways,
We'll
I texted him that we're making
I'll
this
sit on
video.
it. I'll sit on it. Okay, Juneau, Alaska.
Okay, so I've been to Alaska. I feel like it should definitely just be Anchorage.
That might be true, but is Juneau nonsense? I mean, is it really nonsense? I feel
Anchorage
like
is
there's
like
a
the hub
good
of
argument.
Alaska. It's like on the water. Like where even is Juneau? I'm looking at a map right now and I can't find it. I mean, Alaska is pretty big. I think this is nonsense just because I've been to Anchorage and it feels like a somewhat well-developed city, and it's like it's pretty centrally located. Like you can drive to Denali from there. That's what I did. I cannot even find Juneau on the map. I'm gonna say nonsense for that reason.
That's true, and I mean, when you think about it, The only reason why it shouldn't be the largest city is because there's something like crazy going on in the largest city. Like you wouldn't really want like the capital of California in LA, or you wouldn't like want the capital of Nevada to be in Las Vegas. But I mean Alaska, it's pretty quiet, I think.
Okay,
I
so
mean
I
I've
looked
never
it
been.
up. It's totally nonsense because Juneau is literally basically in Canada. Look, that
Mm,
this is Canada. Juneau is there. This is Alaska over
that's
here.
true. It's not even in the main portion of
Juneau is
Alaska.
no. It's literally just on the coast of Alaska. Whereas
We got to pull
Anchorage,
this up on a map,
Anchorage,
guys.
I said centrally located. I didn't mean central as in the middle of the state. I just mean makes a little bit more sense.
Guys, that
That's
is
so
really
ridiculous.
close
It's
to
literally just
Canada. That's
Canada.
not
You're
in the
in
main
British
part of
Columbia.
Alaska.
You're literally just in British Columbia. Now look at Anchorage. Anchorage, like you're on the
Anchorage is
water.
right there,
You're like
right?
south of Denali, so you could drive up there. Denali is super beautiful. There's like, yeah, total nonsense.
Anchorage is it. Okay, yeah. I think you convinced me. Sorry, Juno. Oh wait, accidentally stole Nashville. Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that, Juno. All right. Lansing, Michigan.
Why? I mean, Detroit. I know Detroit's a mess, but why is it not Detroit? That's like the most prominent city in
That's
Michigan.
true. There are other cities in Michigan, I think.
I'm
I mean,
saying
I'm sure there are, but like which
I'm looking at a map right now. There's Grand Rapids.
Oh, Grand
Um,
Rapids would be nice, right?
There's really nothing on that other weird part of Michigan, but in
Upper
regular, there's Ann
Peninsula,
Arbor, where
UP,
Michigan University
Upers.
is, or University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, which is kind of a suburb of Detroit a little bit. What's I already forgot what the capital is. Lansing.
Lansing. See, you already forgot. I feel like that's all the evidence we
I
need.
mean, I hate to say that it should be Detroit because I know Detroit's a mess, but it's such a big city. Like I'm looking at it, it has probably lots of suburbs, or it could be Ann Arbor because that's where the University of Michigan.
That's true. Or Grand Rapids.
So I
Shout
think
out
it's
Grand
nonsense.
Rapids.
I agree.
Yeah, sorry, Lansing. All right, Lincoln, Nebraska.
I mean, let's see. Are there
Wait,
any-
why did we put Jefferson City, Missouri in Makes Sense? I meant to put that in Nonsense. Okay.
So I'm looking at Nebraska on the map. There's Omaha, which is kind of on the border of Iowa.
Omaha is the one I was thinking about, right?
Omaha is basically in Nebraska. It's a little bit of it is in Iowa, but it's basically the biggest city in all of Nebraska.
I think it should be Omaha. And I mean, shout out to Lincoln, like Abraham Lincoln. But you can't just name your capital after a president and then expect that, to get points for that. You got to make a name for yourself outside of that, right? So that's the same thing Ohio tried to do with Columbus.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I'm sorry.
I agree. Okay, Little Rock, Arkansas. I think I'm.
I
fine
like
with
that.
this.
Yeah, I like that. Little Rock. I mean, that's a cool name. I wish I was named Little Rock.
I'm looking at it on the map. I wish I'd started doing this earlier. There is Fayetteville, which is where like Walmart is, and Fayetteville's apparently a pretty nice place.
Yeah, but I mean Little Rock though.
Fayetteville might.
I'm gonna
also
remember
be,
Little Rock my
that
whole
also
life.
might be where University of Arkansas is, or whatever it's called. Anyways, Little Rock is very centrally located, and yeah, no, Little Rock is good.
All right, Madison, Wisconsin. I like it. Yeah, I like it.
I think it's fine.
That's fine.
There's Milwaukee though.
That is true. There is Milwaukee, but
And Milwaukee
at the
is
same
significantly
time,
bigger.
that's not the only criteria though. There's a vibes based. This is a vibes based ranking system. I think on vibes, Madison, Wisconsin gets by, right?
Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, again, Milwaukee would make more sense, but University of Wisconsin is in Madison,
That's true. Shout out UW.
so that's I would say that's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Montgomery, Alabama. I mean, there's Birmingham. That's the only other one I can
I
think
think
of.
that's a cool.
But that's in
There's
England
Mobile.
as well.
Mobile.
I think it's mobile,
There's also
right?
Birmingham.
Yeah, Birmingham. But England already like claimed Birmingham,
Yeah, that would be weird. And
right?
Tuscaloosa.
So that's the thing. Sometimes I'm trying to go to Birmingham, and then I end up in England.
And there's Huntsville.
Right?
There's quite a few other cities that are. bigger than
That's
that.
true, but I don't mind Montgomery. That's historical, right? Didn't Martin Luther King do some stuff? Where was the I? No, I Have a Dream speech was at the Capitol. like
okay with
DC,
it. I
but
will
I think he
say
did some stuff in Montgomery.
there's Birmingham and there's Huntsville and there's Mobile, however you say it. So I would say it's nonsense.
I don't think, yeah, I don't think it's not. I think it makes sense, right? Um, Alabama really beating Mississippi in the like interesting cities department
Yeah,
because I mean Mississippi has Jackson, which frankly isn't like that. There's
right.
not that much weight behind Jackson. Okay, Vermont, Montpelier, Vermont.
So I'm looking in Vermont now.
It's
There's nothing else
it's
basically.
no Burlington,
Burlington is
right?
on the edge. Burlington is basically in New York.
No, but Burlington's real. They got a whole store named after it.
Yeah,
I don't know what else. I think that's where Ben and Jerry's is. I think.
maybe.
Um,
There's Burlington. Vermont's pretty small, but I think I'm okay with this.
I don't. I think it has to be. I've never heard of Montpelier.
Okay, whatever.
I don't know. I'm going to say Montpelier is nonsense.
Yeah, no, I agree with
It
you.
really should be Burlington. But yeah. Okay, Nashville,
Okay,
Nashville, Tennessee.
that is like so good.
Yeah, we love
there are a
Nashville.
few other prominent cities in Tennessee, in my experience. Like there's Knoxville, there's Memphis, but Nashville is centrally located, and it's just like
Put it in
iconic.
Gatlinburg.
Oh my god,
A
it's centrally
petition.
located, and it's memorable. They have lots of music and stuff there.
They got Miley Cyrus. They got Dolly. They got probably Billy Ray Cyrus. I guess you can count Miley and Billy Ray together.
Nashville's good.
Nashville's good.
Makes sense.
Elvis was there. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, though, drop a comment if you think that they should change the capital of Tennessee to Gatlinburg. That would be funny. Okay, Oklahoma City.
Yes. The only other city I can think of is Tulsa, and Tulsa is pretty boring. And Oklahoma City is
Yeah.
also pretty boring, but it's a real city. I would say 100%.
I mean, it's in the name, right?
Makes sense because
Okla-
of the name and because of
Yeah.
everything else I just said.
Oklahoma City, you're in. You made it.
Phoenix is fine. I think Phoenix is.
Phoenix. It's got to be Phoenix. Honestly, I would take Tucson as well.
I was
Shout
gonna
out
say
to
Tucson is the
or
only.
Flagstaff, maybe.
I've never. Yeah.
Which is kind of a weird name now that you think like. Now, when you think about it, it is kind of a weird name.
Mhm.
But I don't know if they have a lot of flags there or what. But
Okay, Olympia.
Olympia,
It should be Seattle.
it should be Seattle.
Olympia's a cool name.
Yeah,
It's easy to
it should-
remember because it's like Olympia, But there's literally Seattle, there's Yakima, there's Tacoma.
yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna say Olympia's nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
It is kind of a cool name, but
That's a cool
undeserved,
name,
frankly. Like they don't have Mount Olympus. I don't think they've ever had the Olympics there, so they don't got any claim to the word Olympia.
yeah. Right.
I'm sorry, Washington, but all right. This next one, Pierre, South Dakota.
Never heard of anywhere.
Who is Pierre?
Pierre, you want to come out here?
Is that where he's from? He's from South Dakota.
No idea. There's Rapid City. That's the only other thing.
See, that's how I would go. I would take that. That sounds cool. That sounds like something that would be in South Dakota.
Mhm.
Pierre sounds like something that was someone who lives in France,
Mhm.
right? And maybe came to South Dakota to see Mount Rushmore. Realized it wasn't as cool as people said it was. That's what I've heard, at least.
Mhm.
And then went back to France. So, yeah, Pierre.
Pierre does
That's-
not want to come out here.
Pierre, do not come out here. Okay, Providence, Rhode Island.
Yes. It's
We
the only
love
place I've heard
Providence,
of in
right?
Rhode Island, so we're
Yeah.
rocking with that.
We're rocking with Providence. All right. Raleigh, North Carolina.
That's where NC State is, I think. I might be wrong about that. Anyways, there's Charlotte, which is way bigger.
Ooh, I kind of like Charlotte more, but I wouldn't say.
There's also Greensboro, which is bigger. Raleigh's pretty big, though.
I
It might
like
kinda be
Charlotte more.
I think it's nonsense.
I think it is nonsense. I really want it to be Charlotte, and I didn't even realize that until you said it. But
Charlotte's like the
it
main
should be
place.
Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Richmond, Virginia.
I think that's fine. It's very historical. It's I don't know. I think that's good. It's not
I like it.
nonsense.
Yeah. No, that has some weight behind it. Okay.
Sacramento is so dumb.
See, I kind of disagree.
No, trust me, there are like 8 better cities than Sacramento.
Name them.
There's LA. There's San Diego.
You don't want the capital in LA.
There's LA. San Diego.
I could see San Francisco being capital.
San Francisco.
I could see that being
Let me
the
look
capital.
at my map. There are plenty of better options. San Diego, Los Angeles, Santa Barbara, Santa Maria, San Jose, San Francisco.
These are good points. Okay, these are good points. Yeah. Sorry, Sacramento. St. Paul, Minnesota.
What about Minneapolis, though?
Oh yeah, duh. It's got to be
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis, right? And Minneapolis is right there. They're sister cities, right?
Yes, you're right. It should be Minneapolis. I agree. That's nonsense.
Yeah. No, I mean, come on. All right, Salem, Oregon.
Why is it not Portland? I mean, I know Portland's kind of a mess from what I've heard. I don't think I like Salem being the capital, though.
Also, isn't there a Salem in Massachusetts? That's where they held the witch
witches.
trials.
I always get confused. I
that's
thought
the
I
thing.
thought they killed the witches in Oregon for the longest time.
That's the thing. When I was driving through Salem one time, I mean, I wasn't driving; my parents were, and I got the chills because I was like, "This is where they burn the witches, right?" But it wasn't even where they burned the witches. So then I felt like an idiot the rest of the vacation. So you know, Salem, if you had a better name, that wouldn't have happened. I'm sorry. Okay.
Salt Lake City, Utah, 100%. I mean, think about it. When you just look at an outline of Utah and you see that big lake in the middle, like that's what you remember about the state. The fact that they put a city there and the fact that it's literally called Salt Lake City, what a good, easy name. And the fact that they made that the capital, love it. I think that's perfect.
I agree. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks.
Okay. Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Okay, so there is Albuquerque, but I think I'm okay with Santa Fe.
I'm okay with Santa Fe.
I think it's a cool name.
I would be fine with Albuquerque too. In fact, I would probably prefer Albuquerque. But you know, Santa Fe, it's cool. The only question is who is Fe, right? Santa's like saint. So who's Fe?
Saint Fe, I guess.
We need to get that answered. New Mexicans, tell us in the comments. Okay. We're getting close here. So Springfield, Illinois.
Definitely should be Chicago. I feel like everyone is in agreement.
Yeah, Springfield is such a bit that's the default name. You know, like
There's another Springfield, I think.
There's like 5 other
Springfield,
Springfields.
Ohio.
I mean, I feel like if they're, you know, the flavor text like Lorem Ipsum Dolor, you know that when they don't have anything to put on, that's like Springfield for a map, right?
Chicago, it's nonsense.
Yeah, that's nonsense. Okay, Tallahassee, Florida.
Nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Florida. Y'all have options
Orlando, too. Fort Lauderdale, Miami, West Palm Beach.
Come on,
Tampa,
right?
Jacksonville. I mean, come on, guys. Tallahassee, and plus it's out of the it's not even in the peninsula. Tallahassee's basically just like Georgia.
Yeah. Tallahassee, that's nonsense. Okay, next one. Second to last one, Topeka, Kansas.
It should be Kansas City, 100%.
But then that's on the border with Missouri.
I know, they should have made it less on the border.
They should have.
I think it should 100% be Kansas City and therefore Topeka.
You know, it could be Wichita too.
Yeah.
It could be Wichita. That's the thing though. Topeka is fun to say. So that's got to get some points, right?
I still think it's nonsense.
I think I might agree with you just because it could have been Kansas City or Wichita. So, you know what, begrudgingly, and I don't, you know, maybe in the future if Topeka becomes a big thing, we could change we can make an update to this. It's nonsense for now though. All right, last but not least, or maybe it's the least. I don't know. Let's see what we decide. Trenton, New Jersey.
Okay, so let's look at New Jersey on the map.
I mean, you couldn't have New York City.
New York is right there, and it's like bleeding into.
But you couldn't have New York City be the capital of New Jersey. That would be confusing.
But there's Newark, which is technically in, what's it called? New Jersey. Newark would make more sense because I've heard of Newark, New Jersey.
But then people would be like, "Oh, you mean New York?"
I know that's
right. So
true.
There are reasons you would want it to be Trenton. I think Trenton is historical too, right? I mean, I've never been. There's the Battle of Trenton, though. But I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe it's like the Battle of Lexington and Concord, where it's not actually in either of the places I thought it
There's
was.
Wilmington. That actually might be in Pennsylvania. There's Atlantic City. I don't know. I think it might be nonsense.
I think it might be nonsense, guys. Um, yeah, I'm sorry, Trenton. This is a hard decision. I think we're nonsense. So, with that, this is our final list here. Whether the state capitals make sense or whether they're nonsense, right? If y'all want to defend your state's honor, drop a comment. We'd love to learn a little bit more about these cities, but I mean, some of these are going to be kind of hard to defend. So be prepared with some good arguments.
And if this gets 500 likes, we'll do one for the country capitals, all 196.
True, that would be good. Um, anyway, let us know if you like the video, and thanks for watching.